What's up, guys? This is Eli Dekay with Officer Benitez here. He's also a combat veteran. He came by, he brought his son over, to hang out a little bit. Thanks for coming by and visiting this old vet, brother.
Of course. Anytime, man, anytime.
We're just basically gonna have a little talk. You could know about his experiences and mine. This is Veteran's Tale, episode 2 with Officer Benitez.
I think most of my experiences coming out from the streets, man. I I've been a cop for schools. Hit the streets maybe about 3 years ago, and it's been a real adventure out there. Traffic stops, that's all new to me.
How would you say that the military helped your career now as a police officer?
It's the discipline. The discipline has a lot to do with it. The discipline, the structure, chain of command, stuff like that. But it's paramilitary. I guess there's a lot of relation.
All right. Well, that's good. Then you got to do something outside of the military that has helped you out in the civilian world.
Yes.
Do you find it hard for people, to talk to you when you tell them you're a veteran? Do they in my experiences, once you tell them you're a veteran, they're like, oh, I don't want to talk to this guy because this guy's probably crazy or something. Have you ever had an experience like that?
No, nothing like that. As a matter of fact, the traffic stop, I get to see IDs and licenses, and it's very rare that somebody's cited, especially being a veteran. I explain the situation. You know what? Thank you for your service, and I'm not going to cite you though, but you do need to slow it down, or you do need to correct this. Things like that. We're out there for each other.
It's good. It's good that there's a sense of a brotherhood.
Yes.
At the most, and being an officer. That's good, brother. I didn't know you personally until after I came back. Funny story, I met him, he was working at HEB at the time. We just became friends. Every time I go in, I joke around, and he would joke around too, and I was like, oh,
yeah,
this guy's...
I was running security.
We would have a joking banter back and forth, and one day we just started talking, and he told me he was a veteran, and I was like, oh crap, all right, man. And I told him I was, and that's how our friendship started. And
it's just a hot day, man. I needed something cold to drink.
Yeah. Hey, man. However you feel to cool down. You brought me a Monster, so that's what I drink. And do you want to introduce your son?
You don't want to get up, son?
No. You say no. All right, it's cool. How old is he?
He's 9 years old.
9. Okay.
And he's a gamer. He's looking at a career in pro skating. He takes the ramps. And
coding?
You're gonna do game coding? You're gonna do that? Well, he's an amazing skater. For being 9 years old, he's an amazing skater. He takes the vert ramps, a champ. Just
remember that you are in charge of your own destiny. Whatever happens to you in the future is a consequence of what you do in your life. If basically you create your future, you have to have a positive outlook, and don't take crap from anybody, especially if somebody's trying to tell you that you can't do something, or that you're not smart or whatever. I'm not saying that you're not, but anybody that gives you negative feedback like that, never use it as something negative. Always use it as something to help you grow. Every situation where somebody might tell you something negatively, use that opportunity to grow and as a person. I don't know. He's the one that gave me the American flag in front of the place right here. We've had some pretty good friendship over the years, and I think it's grown since then, because sometimes as veterans, a lot of people don't want to hang out with us or whatever, and you'll find your little groups, like for instance, he's comes over, sometimes we talk, sometimes we get advice from each other. If one of us is down, we'll hey, something we can't talk with our women, we could talk to each other. And
I might just talk to you about women problems.
This guy's been married 30 times. I'm just kidding. He's good.
Only twice.
Only twice. 3 times a lady. So what do you think you learned from being in the military? What was the thing that you took out of it that you brought into?
I guess that I brought it into policing.
Holy shit, the flies, man.
The freaking flies. The discipline, for sure. The discipline that helps me stay focused. So when I encounter something terrible, it's like nothing I haven't seen or been through already. Learn to work under stress. And don't get me wrong, at times it gets so repetitious. A lot of times I work for a small town, so I do work on my own. And sometimes it's just back to back nonstop. And by the time I know it, you know what, I'm 7 reports deep, and I can't type everything out, and I forget what belongs to what. It happens occasionally, but for the most part, where it matters is going to be out there on the fields. If I can keep my shit together, then that's what keeps me alive. Sitting behind my computer in my office, there's very minimal threat, but it's going to be out there on the streets, out there at a residence, domestic call. Instead of training, it did help me keep my composure. If there is a struggle, well, I'm still able to breathe. I'm still able to focus. Adrenaline, it's at a minimum, unless somebody really pisses me off, and then we got.
That's funny. You need to not you, but we need to find our where our switch is, because when I came out, my switch was, it was always turned up, and it wasn't a good thing. It's something that I had to grow, well, not grow, but like something I needed help controlling that. But there is one thing that you mentioned the other day was that video you showed me where the guy was hiding under and I don't know if you can talk about this.
Oh, but yes, that's fine.
That was an intriguing story that I thought, like maybe you'd like to elaborate on that.
Oh, I just helped my brothers out. It's not my department. I was off duty, and I saw this vehicle just really I saw a cock. I don't know. I saw this vehicle. Just really.
You saw a cock in a vehicle? I'm 2 years old. Anyway, go ahead.
So we're just on that bridge there on Victoria Road. I'm heading down. I was on Victoria Road. He was coming northbound. I was going southbound, but he was just hauling ass. But I saw red and blue lights from a distance. So all I could think of, this guy is running. I'm on my personal vehicle. I made a U-turn. This guy, he takes the bridge. He's still passing traffic, and then I just hear the smack. I just hear him 50 out. So he takes off running, and I kind of see the location where he's at. I'm in my personal vehicle. I put my hazards on. I get off. I identify. I start yelling out, I'm police, whatever. So I'm there looking through all this. Well, they set up a barricade. And matter of fact, I don't even know what the guy's charges were. I don't recall what they were. But he did have a warrant. He did have a warrant. He had some drugs on him. They did find it in the vehicle.
Oh, wow.
But anyways, we set up this barricade, and there was a Chief Walden. God rest his soul. He's a chief of Donna ISD. He was first one on scene when I had called, and he set up that barricade. And he suggested where I look. He's like, you know what? I don't have my flashlight, but I don't want to say that over the radio. That's embarrassing. So he kind of gave me the win. He's like, you got your flashlight? Look under there. I have a feeling he's under there. And sure enough, he was there.
Oh, wow.
That guy, that's a smart man. God rest his soul.
He gave you that case. That's awesome, brother.
That was a good one.
What body cam was that? Was that his or yours?
That was mine.
Yours? So you still had your uniform?
Yes.
Okay, but you were off. I understand now. Wow, all right.
Just clocking out of work, and shit happens. Yeah. Sometimes you just gotta act.
That's awesome, brother.
You mind if I smoke?
No, go ahead, man. Yeah.
I mean, I worked the schools for 5 years. I worked up in Brooks County. I worked for Falfurrias PD. I did that for about a year. I went to Elsa for a couple of months, just didn't like it, took a break, just needed a breather and worked something else. I was running security for T-Mobile at their call center, it's still a lot of work. It's still a lot to look out for. You got to check the parking lot, make sure there was no threats or anything like that. Same thing. All the servers, you got to make sure that these rooms are cold. It was still a big responsibility. I was strung out for money one day. I donated plasma, and the guy that was taking my blood that stuck a needle in me, he used to be a cop.
Oh, really?
And I used to work with him, and he mentioned the chief. The chief over here is looking for people. He's like, you want me to give him your number? I'm like, you know what? Go ahead and do that. Just maybe 2 days later, I get a call from the chief, and he asked me to come work for him. Yeah, I've been here about 5 months now, and I like it. I get what I want out of it. I get my Monday through Friday. They hired me for schools to take care of that, since I have the experience in that. But at the moment, school's out for summer, and so schedule changed a little bit. But still Monday through Friday, 7 to 4, and then on Fridays it's 7 to noon. So I get a little bit earlier on Fridays, just for those 40 hours. Yeah, but it's a good deal.
Is that now, or is it like when you were at Donna?
That's where I'm at now.
Okay, all right. That's an awesome schedule, man.
Yes.
As far as the PTSD or depression and going to the VA.
Well, and then I know it's very existent within the military family.
Mm-hmm.
It's very existent. It's a lot more common than pretty much any other. What would you say? Any other occupation or something like that. Policing and law enforcement. The leading cause of officer death is
by the wife.
Is by wife? No. It is suicide.
Yeah.
That's the leading.
Oh,
cause.
really?
The leading cause of officer death is suicide.
Wow.
I don't know if you were aware of that, but it's so.
I didn't. I knew that the divorce rate is really high for police officers.
It's up there, 50, 75% maybe. I mean, nothing's worked out for me since. So I get it. The thing is, it's just I don't know. It's just maybe it's just a lifestyle, just something that I'm used to, and it's I feel less and less every time. Not that I'm inhumane.
I get you.
Not that I'm inhumane, but there's just that kind of stuff doesn't bother me.
All your exes live in Texas, man. Literally. That's awesome, brother. I also know that you like to express yourself a lot through music. Do you still do that?
From time to time, I'll go into the studio. I got friends, and I got places to record music and do things like that. Occasionally, I'll play live. Money's been a little tight. Yeah, the job is very high risk.
Somebody's got to do it. There's a lot of people out there that just don't want to do stuff like that. Like they think it's too dangerous, or like that's what a lot of veterans that I've spoken to is they'll do it because they've already done something bigger than themselves. So they come back and they're like, they see the same thing. Like
they look for structure.
They're like, we're looking for something that fills that void in, and it's sad to say a lot of people don't know about that, and think that, like, for instance, myself, I was in the infantry. You come back and you don't know where you fit in this world, like in the civilian world, because what you did doesn't really translate to anything that you do out here that's legal. As far as a message that you would like to tell to other vets out there, or veterans that are just getting out of the military, what's something you would say to them?
Use what you got. Use what you learned, and just be happy you're not caught in the shit anymore. Be happy you're back home. Take advantage of that. Spend time with your family. Spend time with your friends.
Eat a lot of ass.
There you go. Do that too. I think I could have said something like that, but I don't want to get anybody in trouble.
That's why you always carry baby wipes.
Wipe your face up.
Sometimes you want somebody to eat your ass and stuff. Except I have too much hair. Wait a minute. I said too much. Well, thank you for coming by, Officer Benitez, and I appreciate it. It's always great when you come by. Hopefully next time we could delve into the mental health aspect of things. Like I said, I want to respect that your son's here. And, it was definitely something that every time we speak, there's something new that I learned from you, or I feel like comfortable, like around you. You know that my door is always open for you. You're always welcome here. And that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. This is Eli Dekay. And we'll see you next time. Peace. See ya.